Hey, yo, what's up, guys? Your boy Ed from Elite Beach. You already know. I'm bringing to you guys my true Draco deck. I've made a couple of, tweaks and changes because, not any list that I ever post is perfect at all whatsoever. So this is one of those decks that I've been playing for a long time. I really enjoy it. I've kind of taken a few notes from what you guys have, kind of said, and I've made some updated changes. Maybe with these changes, some of you guys actually will like it more than what I had it with before. I think that the upstart wasn't such a great idea all the time, but I made a few changes, and honestly, feeling a lot better about it. I think it's super smooth and it's very consistent. So let's go ahead and check it out. Honestly, I thought it would be really fitting for me to use my this is my original Team Elite Ceviche playmat. I had this one made a few years back. This is with the original Team Elite Ceviche logo, the very first one actually. Shout out to my mom. My mom designed this playmat for me. It's kind of like an idea of a playmat that I wanted. It has True Draco on one side. On the other side, it has Dark Magician, and then it has like the really big invocation right in the middle. So something that I really like. Thought it'd be fitting to use the True Draco playmat for, of course, the True Draco deck profile. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We haven't changed much about it yet for the monster lineup. I think that Mano Iwado is actually really helpful in this deck, and it's helped me stop a lot of hand traps already. So one Masterpiece, 3 Knuckles. Realistically, I think Knuckles is the monster you want to have on field the most. One of the things that I feel like a lot of you viewers or commenters understand is that I think the Masterpiece isn't the boss monster that we all think it is, right? Like I think the card is really good, but it's not like busted anymore, right? One of the things that how do I explain it? I don't think that you need a Masterpiece to win. I think that's the fastest and easiest way for me to be able to say those words, right? I don't think that you need a Masterpiece in every game to resolve in order for you to win. It's not like a win con, right? So the reason why you only play one Masterpiece is because you don't really want to summon him out more than once. In my personal opinion, at least, if he gets banished off of like pod, it gets banished off of pod. And I think that's like one of the biggest things. Like some people wanted me to really play like 2 Masterpiece, but a lot of really like the more that you play this deck, the more you understand that you don't need the Masterpiece. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I think the 1 Masterpiece is fine. 3 Knuckles is what you need. You need to be able to play and maximize on your Knuckles as much as possible. You need to be able to get these traps on the field ASAP. This is what helps you set up for Masterpiece, at least in my eyes, right? In the way that I see it, is it's so gas when you get him with a trap, and then you're able to like just get rid of the trap in the monster if need be, right? At least that's my personal opinion. A lot of people really say like play like more Maiden. I think Maiden is just a one-off. Personally, I feel like if I want to see any of these, I don't want to see Maiden. I want to see Ignis a little bit, but I don't want to see him as much as Knuckles. So this is the reason why we're only playing 3, 2, and 1 of each of these, right? Mano Iwado being so busted, so good. Can't have a K9 engine on my turn. It's not like I activate anything from hand, right? But it just feels so good to be able to not necessarily worry with a Mano Iwado if you're gonna get hand trapped or if your opponent is gonna play on your turn, because hey, you can't hotly sue me if I have a Mano Iwado on field, bro. There's no on summon chain. No, it's just Mano Iwado. Monster effects are dead. Call it a day, buddy. Moving on to the spell cards. Keeping it simple, the terraforming with the 3 diagram. You want to be able to see diagram as much as possible. You want to be able to see it as fast as possible. I personally believe that this is the card that can actually give you a win con, right? There's a lot of situations where I've gone like, where I've just had a diagram with a 1 True Draco monster, right? And True Draco monster could be too high, right? And when you're sitting in a situation where it's a simplified game state, they're not going to be able to normal summon, ran over your True Draco, and then be able to run over with it again. They're going to have to hit it twice with diagram, right? And therefore, a lot of people sometimes aren't able to. and it's happened to me before where it's just like summon, swing. I take a few hundred life points, pass. Okay, well, I'm gonna diagram and I'm gonna summon out something stronger next turn, right? Such a great card. It's a searcher on every turn, not just on activation, right? You can pop any one card that you need. It could be in hand, on field, whatever. And that's how you start getting all your Draco stuff going. This is such a good card. This is what the deck needed to be livable again. Like this is a live deck now. Like this is just, it's a playful deck now. Like you can actually use it. I think that when the ban with the last ban list that we had before this one, when we had Masterpiece come back to 1, it just wasn't as exciting as it should have been, because Diagram was only at 1 and then they didn't bring back Diagram. Now the Diagram's at 3. It's actually exciting because you're able to do so much with just the Diagram itself. You know, it's just such a good engine too. You can splash it in, like I said, with True Kings. You can splash it into other decks, and it just does so much. You know, hint, hint. If you guys are interested, I will be posting a True King Dino deck profile pretty soon, so make sure you guys look out for that. 3 to Heritage, 3 Disciples, super staple cards. Shout out to the new card that is a staple card, but it isn't like a 3 of. For a lot of people who don't know it and don't understand, this isn't a true Draco card. It's a really, really good card, but it isn't a true Draco card. And that's kind of what hurts us here the most, right? With it not being a true Draco card, it didn't go from field to grave, and you don't draw another one off of Heritage, or you don't count that as the spell, you know, so you can draw for Heritage. Like, it kind of sucks in that aspect. It's a free Surge, and realistically for me, it's a free tribute summon against decks that are playing a bunch of spell cards, right? I think this is actually really, really nice, and I like it a lot. It's a really, really good card, but it just wasn't designed for True Draco. I don't understand that. It's just a True Draco card that was just kind of almost there, you know. Card of Demise. Demise is really, really good. Honestly, keeping a hand doesn't really matter. You don't need hand traps. You don't need anything. You can break boards with just True Draco cards, honestly. And this is one of those cards that allow us to be able to play to the best of our abilities. This is another card that we needed back at 3, because this literally made this deck so much better. Just being able to draw 3, because you can set everything and draw, just makes this card so good. Pot, I only play Pot at 2 because I have this really, really bad recurring nightmare, right, where I activate a Pot of Desires and then I draw into another Pot of Desires. I hate that so much. It happens to me frequently. I have nightmares about it every other once a month or something, you know, like with True Draco coming back. And, you know, I have this one specific one, by the way, where it happened to me at DNA. So shout out to the people who have been in DNA or know what I'm talking about. But there was this one event where I activated Pot and I drew a Pot off of the Pot, and I was just, I will never forget that moment, because I was playing True Draco and it was the first time that I decided to play 3 Pot again, before Pot got hit, of course, right? And I was just like, wow, you know, I gave it a shot at 3. That really sucked. I'm not doing that ever again. But I think that day it happened to me like twice or 3 times where I went potting to Pot, and that was the main reason to why I never play more than 2 anymore. It's just at 2. For a while it had been hit, and that was cool, but Pot of Duality is such an amazing card. I think that this is actually really, really good for the deck. It's not a draw. It's a look at the top 3 and add 1, right? So it's really, really good. Sometimes your opponents have cards that say that you can't draw, so this is the beauty of it. I've had so many different formats throughout so many different years that I've played True Draco, and with every single format and archetype and or deck that's out there, words change just slightly, you know. And yeah, this is a really good card because it adds and doesn't draw a card. It's that great. And honestly, shout out to this card. Moving on to some trap cards. We play 2 of the True King's Return. We kept this the same. A lot of the spells and traps and monsters in this deck have been kept the same, but where I've really, really changed a lot was not just like taking out the upstarts, because you guys can definitely see that I don't have the upstarts, but I have changed other small stuff, and I'll show you guys in just a second once we get there. 3 Apocalypse. This card is gas. Like, this is literally one of my favorite cards. It allows me to be able to tribute summon on my opponent's turn, and allows me to destroy a monster that they control. So as soon as this card hits grave, I'm popping a card. I'm popping a monster on field. 3 Erupts. We don't play an extra deck because this card is gas. Now, somebody did remind me that like one of like what I thought was a great deck back in the day was True Draco Sky Striker. Um, this is one of the decks that I've been considering on rebuilding just because nostalgia reasons, right? Personally, I don't know how to feel if I think that it might be a personal good deck. I don't think it would be a great deck, but I think that it's a great idea. But I really want to play Erupts, so therefore, Erupt says that you can't have an extra deck. So Sky Striker and Erupts won't ever work, right? So I think therefore it's something to really consider if you're gonna want to try something cool, something fun with you know True Dracos, but it costs a lot. You know, it costs us no basically skill drain. Like this is a free skill drain, and it's a one-sided skill drain to you know to start off with, right? Apophis, the Swamp Deity. This card is really good. Allows you to negate face-up cards. It allows you to negate cards up on the field, right? You play already so many traps anyway that this is free sometimes. Being able to just kind of flip these cards and be able to just say no whenever you want, because this is like this deck doesn't really have like an inherent no, right? It's not like we have like an inherent counter trap that just negates whatever you want. So you got to be able to find ways to make things happen for yourself. And I think that this is one of those cards that allows you to be able to say no. Wrapping up the last three, like I said, it was just these, but I think this keeps me at exactly 40. Let me double count. This is 15, 30. Yeah, exactly 40. Like I said, it's one of the reasons why cutting Upstart was kind of like a difficult decision, because like I really want to play Upstart. I really want to be able to draw cards. I really want to get to what I need to get to, but it's not a necessary card. And a lot of these cards kind of search each other, and a lot of these cards kind of help you draw to get to what you need to get to. So I think it works really well. I like the deck a lot. It's honestly one of my favorite decks of all time, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is where I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Thank you guys.